In this video, I'm going to share a 5-part framework that you can get started doing right away on how to position yourself as a thought leader. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to get into why it's important to be a thought leader, what it means to be a thought leader, the 5 steps in order to position yourself as a thought leader, and one extra special bonus step. So let's go. The first thing I want to talk about is this term thought leader. Right now, the term is a little bit hackneyed, a little bit overused. It's one of these terms that we throw around a lot. So I want to really dive into what it means because it matters. See, when you call yourself a thought leader, it means that you're literally leading thought on a topic. It means that you are an original thinker, that you have your own perspective on things, your own way of looking at things. And that way of looking at things is not only different than everybody else's, but it's substantiated and it's rooted in something deep and important. One of my mentors, his name is Mark Levy. He's an author. He helps New York Times best-selling speakers and authors and other consultants to position themselves. And he has this concept that he talks about called your big, sexy idea. And that's what I like to think about when I think about a thought leader. What is your big, sexy idea? What's the thing that differentiates you from everybody else? And it has to be original. You can't just be regurgitating someone else's big, sexy idea. So what this looks like is having a position. It means having a point of view. It means being someone who other people are listening to and watching and paying attention to. A lot of times I see people calling themselves thought leaders or saying, I want to be seen as a thought leader, but they don't have an original thought. They don't have the big, sexy idea. So that's where this whole conversation needs to begin. What is that thing? What is that message that you have that's so unique, so special, and so compelling that other people are going to be drawn to it? And that's the second part of the foundation of having a thought leadership brand. And that is that you have an audience that's listening to you. And a lot of times it takes the big, sexy idea in order to attract the audience that's listening to you. Even if you have an idea or you have a message that's unique and special, but nobody's hearing it, nobody's finding you, then you're not a thought leader. A thought leader, it's that both of those things, the thought piece and the leadership piece. So now that we've gotten that out of the way and we understand what it is to be a thought leader, and let's talk a little bit about why it's important. It's important because it can help really position you in your business. It can help attract new opportunities. It can get you on stages. It can get you book deals. It can get you invited on podcasts or on news shows. When you're a thought leader, people want to hear what you have to say about things, and you can have an impact in the world. When you have influence, you can turn influence into impact and also income. And I know that especially right now in this day and age that we're in, it's so important to have a flow of abundance and a flow of financial security that doesn't require a lot of heavy lifting or hard work. So that's why it's helpful to position yourself as a thought leader, because it attracts inbound opportunities and makes it easier to grow your business and your influence. So what's the 5-part framework? Well, the first piece is that you have a purpose. Now, I know that sounds maybe a little bit woo-woo, but what I've discovered is that when people come from, at the core, foundationally, fundamentally, from a purpose, then I've found that your message can resonate a lot more deeply with others. And so I'm asking you, what is your passion? What is your calling? When you look at the world around you, what is it that you see that you want to change, that you want to elevate, that you want to improve? Right? So having that groundedness in a purpose is really attractive. I'll give you a couple of examples. So one great example of a brand that has a purpose, it's not quite exactly a thought leadership brand, but it's still a really good example, is Tom's Shoes. So Tom's Shoes has a purpose to bring shoes to people who need them, who can't afford them or who don't have access to them. So they lead Tom, for every pair of shoes that you buy from Tom's, they give away a pair of shoes to someone who can't afford them. Now that is a core part of their brand, and that makes them a thought leader in the world. They are bringing awareness and attention to a problem, and they're putting their brand behind that problem. Another great example of a brand that leads with purpose, or a person that leads with purpose, is Simon Sinek. He's a thought leader, and he developed, his big sexy idea, which incidentally he worked on with Mark Levy, is start with why. That's his big message. Now think about it. There's a purpose there. His purpose is to elevate business so that business people and business leaders are leading with their purpose, with their why. So what's your why? What's your purpose? What is the thing that you want to be known for, and what's underneath your brand and your thought leadership? Why is what you do valuable and valid in the world? The second part of the framework is understanding the problem that you solve and the solution that you provide. So from the problem perspective, right, what are the pain points that your audience feels that are associated with the problem you solve, right? What is the thing that keeps them up at night? And what is it that you provide that fixes that problem? So that second part of the framework is getting really clear about what value you bring to your ideal clients. Speaking of ideal clients, that is the third part of this, which is, who do you serve? What is that audience that you are called to bring value to? What are their needs? What is keeping them up at night? Like I said earlier, what is their problem? So once you understand who you're serving, who this audience is, who this niche is that you offer your solution to, then you've got to think about, okay, what's my unique point of view? What's my unique perspective? What's my unique way of seeing this problem and solution that nobody else sees it this way? So that's your point of view. So far we've talked about purpose, problem solution, positioning, and point of view. And then the fifth thing and the final part of the framework is to produce. Produce original content, produce articles, produce podcasts, produce any number of thought leadership items that get your brand and your thought leadership out in the world. If you're not putting yourself out there, then people aren't going to be able to find you. You can have the most incredible message and mission and brand in the world, but if people don't see it, then it's not going to serve you. So that's the last part of this. It's publishing, broadcasting, and speaking, getting your message out into the world in one of these or three of these ways. I like to use a mix of all these types: publishing books, publishing articles, publishing email blasts, broadcasting, having a podcast. My YouTube channel is a broadcast medium. And of course, speaking is my absolute favorite of all time strategy for getting your content and your original thought leadership out into the world. So the last thing that I wanted to share, the bonus, if you will, is that the world needs you. The world needs thought leaders right now. The world needs original thinkers, innovating and influencing and leading others. And so this, right now, in this moment, as I'm looking to you, this is your call. This is your calling forward. I am calling you forward into thought leadership so that the world gets the benefits of your gifts and your message. So thought leaders, people like you who are feeling called to lead in this world, are my favorite people to work with. And that's why I created for you my Monetize Your Magic Playbook. This is a resource that's going to help you take this thought leadership that you're building and figure out a way to either add more revenue streams or change your current revenue streams to your current business. So if you want to check that out, visit monetizeyourmagicplaybook.com or just click on the link below.